always called him the boy genius.
Daring, very unpredictable.
Because a lot of his work is autobiographical. I think he plays with his identity to an extreme.
Is he really as self-absorbed as you would think he is? Because you talk to him, you're like, he's smart, he's like self-aware, but also there is that narcissistic vein, you know what I mean?
I honestly thought that he was really good at comedy, but like 2 years in, so he just didn't know how to pander to a crowd yet, or didn't know where his voice was so that he could adapt to different audiences. And it turns out he was about 10 years in and he just didn't care.
Y'all don't know the ride. How good it feels to take an innocent child's life. Jesus, I totally just 9/11'd this chick lesson. King of blood,
He's wildly prolific. So that's one of the things I would say from the outside, is he makes a ton of shit. He's like, oh, I dropped 2 records like last year. I did a novel. I'm starting this company. I'm working on some 6-hour movie. Appearing on some TV shows when he was living in Los Angeles.
In 2019, I was on a reality dating show on the E! Network called Dating No Filter. In it, I was set up on a blind date with a girl named Asia.
My date's name is Asia. I'm wondering maybe if she's Asian.
Apparently, I was the only person the entire season to make their date get up and walk out.
I had a lot of building up and I just...
Ew, what the hell?
Good God, Cameron.
Now, part of me finds this hilarious and incredibly on brand for me. But another part of me can't help but fear this moment is too real a reflection of the very sad and painful reality that is my life.
Pretty grossed out by the comments about his jizz. I just feel like he's so immature and super gross and definitely has a lot to learn.
I'm just gonna be myself until someone likes it and it works out.
Obviously, Asia and Cameron did not work out, but I do have faith that Cameron's fellow weirdo is maybe right around the corner.
Boy, was he wrong. My name is Cameron Smith. I live in Wilmington, North Carolina. And I am the loneliest boy on earth.
Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody for my own. I'm so lonely.
It's no wonder why no woman wants me. I'm nearly 30 years old, I don't have a real career, I can barely pay my bills, yet still narcissistic enough to film myself in a mirror smoking weed and think that's a cool shot. I'm 5'10", kind of fat, oscillating between manic-level delusions of grandeur and total debilitating self-consciousness. Mentally ill for sure, just haven't been formally diagnosed. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I could go on for 2.5 hours with what I think is wrong with me, but here's the main character flaw. Like most straight men, I have a weakness for beautiful women. In fact, many times I've used my art as an excuse to interact with them. Because, let's be honest, if I outright ask them to go on a date, that's just not gonna happen. But if I'm like, hey, put on this little white dress and come dance around with me on camera for this movie I'm making, they're more likely to say, sure, that sounds like a cool, unique experience. And that's close enough for me. Who knows? Maybe it's all just some sort of perversion. Maybe I'm possessed by the spirit of lust. Or maybe I'm just a sick little fuck freak who likes eating prosciutto off of hot girls' asses. I don't know, I'm truly just throwing shit at the wall at this point. But anyway, my point is this. Whether I'm interacting with attractive women on a film set or out in the wild, I just can't seem to form a real, long-lasting, reciprocal connection. This documentary is an attempt to find out why that is. Is it simply the cold, shallow, pathological modern world we're living in today? Or am I the problem?
Do your hair thing that you always do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. Every time.
I'm sorry, I have to throw up.
What?
Come on, I'm just a regular old kid. Hey, don't show my penis. It's very, very tiny. I just don't want, like, you know, this to come out when I'm super famous and they, like, look down and see my tiny dick. Like, it's a twig. Please.
It's a twig!
Alright, just believe me, it's a fucking twig.
Okay, I believe you.
Alright, I'm going to sleep.
In high school, I was a strange kind of popular. I wasn't the typical preppy jock football player or anything like that. Far from it. I was the weird kid that made videos.
Do you understand how funny the shot looks when I do this? And I have the hat?
People knew who I was, and for the most part, I was well liked. I was a wild, rambunctious guy. Sometimes obnoxious. Annoying, even. And kinda mean, too. I had a fucked up sense of humor, and I sorta always have. But so did my friends I made videos with. I often think of this period as the golden years.
A hot dog in a crust of...
I loved making meaningless art with my friends. It was simpler times.
Did you miss me?
No, and that camera can get out of my face too. Because see, I got another says I don't want to record.
Alright, we'll block out your voice.
Back then, I never had a girlfriend. I always liked girls and would try to flirt in my own counterproductive way. But no girl I liked ever really liked me back as anything more than a friend. This led me to develop the existential fear. What if no girl I liked ever liked me back? And I die without ever knowing what that feels like. A bit premature to develop such a fear, I know, but it was definitely there, and it bothered me more than I'd like to admit. However, I always found solace in creativity. It's as if my relationship with art was born from the void of loneliness I was forced into. Sometimes I think, had I been more popular with the girls, I would have never become an artist. It wasn't until college that I finally had a girlfriend. Her name was Caitlin. She was sweet, caring, and empathetic, a soft, sensitive, beautiful soul, and selfless in the way she loved. We spent almost all of our time together. There were enough nights to count on one hand that we didn't sleep in the same bed throughout the entire year that we were with each other.
Are we psychos?
We were like a married couple.
Hi, I'm Cameron Smith and I'm a psycho.
We got to know each other very well. She knew me better than anyone else on the planet did, from the public persona to the person I was behind closed doors. She truly was my best friend. But after a while, the relationship started to get in the way of my creative life. I found it difficult to take the alone time I needed to work on the things I was most passionate about, without feeling like I was hurting her in the process. Eventually, after enough fights, failures to make healthy adjustments, and accumulated resentment on both ends, I felt I had to choose between the girl I loved and the potential for a career in the arts. And I chose the career. The breakup was messy. It lingered. It was off and on for about another year or so. Then, soon enough, it was over for good. She moved on to someone else. One of my grad student creative writing teachers, actually, but that's not all that relevant to the story. In the wake of it all, my existential fear of never experiencing requited love had been quelled. And although I felt like I made the right decision, being alone again felt more dull and miserable than it felt free and full of potential. And though I did return to focusing on my art, the things I was making were extraordinarily dark.
Want to have sex with my ex-girlfriend? Go ahead.
I was making films about murdering autistic children.
Action!
Girls contemplating getting an abortion and marrying their rapist.
Laugh like it's okay. Cam, let's go ahead and get this.
Songs about killing myself, decapitating Taylor Swift, and bombastically taking the Lord's name in vain. And my stand-up was becoming completely unhinged.
Thank God Robin Williams is dead. That guy was obnoxious.
Don't you hate when a retard sucks your dick and does a bad job? So what if they gang raped a 4-year-old child?
During this time, I had become inexplicably attracted to the films of David Lynch. They spoke to me unconsciously in a way I couldn't really articulate with words. It wasn't long before I got curious about Lynch himself and started watching interviews and YouTube clips of him talking about his process and philosophy.
The idea comes into your conscious mind, and it comes in like an electrical spark.
For the most part, he was a man of few words.
But am I right in thinking that that's at least in the right area?
No.
Then I came across this video of him talking about creativity, consciousness, and transcendental meditation.
If you have a golf ball-sized consciousness, when you read a book, you'll have a golf ball-sized understanding. When you look out, a golf
I was more
ball-sized
depressed than I had ever been, experiencing suicidal thoughts and ideation like never before. But this video set off an explosion in my mind. Just in hearing Lynch's words, I was instantaneously struck with a profound sense of hope for the future. I realized that I was responsible for the darkness I was so consumed by, and that I had the power to free myself and take control of my own destiny. In the months that followed, I experienced a full-on spiritual awakening. In what felt like an overnight flip of a switch, I went from being a cynical, apathetic, misanthropic, nihilistic, closed-minded, scientism-oriented God denier to being hyper-aware of how incredibly ignorant and short-sighted myself and every single person that's ever existed truly is. The reality of human limitation. The infinitely deep mystery of consciousness. And the divine field of creative possibility and potential that lies in that mystery. All of life was suddenly beautiful. It was as if I understood that every seemingly paradoxical or contradictory thought could all be true simultaneously. A deep understanding that contradiction itself was surface level and trivial. As if I had faith in every ancient religion all at once. I went my whole life up to this point completely uninterested in reading and learning, miraculously dodging at least 90% of the material that was forced on me throughout my journey in the American education system, to now suddenly possessing an insatiable curiosity about anything and everything that entered my field of attention and presented itself as immediately relevant. I was radically open to new ideas. I couldn't stop reading and listening to audiobooks and podcasts and online lectures.
And the evidence from Göbekli Tepe is that this site is 11,600
Rather
years
early
old.
in this venture, I came across Jordan Peterson, the clinical psychologist and university professor from Canada.
You got to be oriented towards something, because otherwise you're disoriented. You just spin around in circles and then you suffer. What goal would justify the suffering of your life?
Perhaps an unsavory and controversial figure to some, but I found his way of thinking to be incredibly useful in my journey towards self-development.
It's like the contents of your unconscious are manifesting themselves when you encounter the unknown. It's exactly what it is. If you can think and speak and write, you are absolutely deadly. Nothing can get in your way.
One video in particular really struck a chord with me.
Don't underestimate the power of truth. There's nothing more powerful. Now, in order to speak what you might regard as the truth, you have to let go of the outcome. Now, you might have to pay a price for that, but that's fine. You're going to pay a price for every bloody thing you do and everything you don't do. You don't get to choose to not pay a price. You get to choose which poison you're going to take. That's it.
Much of my art up to this point was essentially a lie. It was all a sort of Machiavellian facade I would often justify as being in character, which of course has its creative merits, but to Peterson's point, it wasn't honest. And because of that, I didn't know who the hell I was.
It is not safe to speak, and it never will be. But the thing you gotta keep in mind is that it's even less safe not to speak.
These words shook me to my core, and it was in that moment I promised myself, from this point forward and to the best of my ability, that I would tell the truth. And also, listen to a fuck ton of Jordan Peterson.
Because look at, you're useless, easily hurt, easily killed. Why should you have any self-respect? I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to because it's just so goddamn funny. I can't help but say it. I figured out how to monetize social justice warriors.
So what is your advice beyond banal comments like clean your room?
I would consider that more of an opinionated, personal and political statement than actually a question. So why don't you try reformulating that so that there's an actual question there?
I'm married. Modern marriage has a lot to recommend it. I do also think it is a patriarchal institution. It is literally...
Of course you think that. Well, because you think virtually everything that occurs in our society is a patriarchal institution. And it's easy to think that because then you only have to think one thing. You could give a one-thing answer for everything.
In the midst of the whole spiritual awakening, I was beginning to work on my infamous 5-hour magnum opus, Dako Natawo. Since completing the project, it has served as a highly complex dreamlike mirror to my unconscious and a puzzle for my waking mind to piece together and analyze its meaning. To this day, I still have strange insights emerge as a result of further reflection on this work. Possibly the richest of these insights, the idea I contemplate most often, is the encounter with the shadow.
Jung said very clearly that the first step to enlightenment is the encounter with the shadow. Everything horrible that human beings have done was done by human beings, and you're one of them.
Even prior to my awakening, I had always been fascinated with the darker parts of the self. But with this film, I was waking up to and confronting my own capacity for chaos and evil.
The part of you that's twisted against being, that's aiming at making everything as terrible as it can possibly be.
The necessity to integrate that dark side, and to do so consciously.
The morality comes when you're a monster and you can control it.
Because the stark reality we all face is that if we avoid this conscious integration, it will happen unconsciously.
Burn off the things that get in the way of that integration. Because no one can be a good person without integrating their capacity for regression. Your moral degeneration contributes in no small way to the degeneration of the entire cosmos. A lot of you has to burn away, and I suppose in some sense the idea is that everything about you that isn't worthy is to be put into the flames. And there's no shortage of pain when the deadwood burns off.
After completing and releasing the film, I spent my final months in Wilmington finishing college, graduating, doing shows, and saying goodbye to my friends. Then I moved to Los Angeles to pursue the dream.
I'd like to say,
Let me tell you, I'm out here from a very far away place. All for a chance to be a star. Nowhere seems to be too far.
While I was living in LA, I had a lot of interesting experiences. I did whatever this is, and whatever this is. I went to the Prince Originals album release party with my friend Joe Day. I got to see Joe Rogan at the Comedy Store, and I got to perform there for an open mic. I probably shouldn't admit this, but I even snuck into Brody Stevens' memorial show. There, I was surrounded by celebrities, from Zach Galifianakis to Bradley Cooper to Bill Burr. I met John Hamm, shook hands with Jimmy Kimmel. I got hugged by Greg Turkington, kissed by Bobby Lee, and I ran into Tim Heidecker enough times to genuinely creep him out. I even met Dave Chappelle at the Prince party. Here's a photo Joe took. For the most part, I worked as a background actor, appearing on several popular TV shows: Judge Judy, Dr. Phil, Masked Singer, Videos After Dark, Beat Shazam, Rhythm and Flow, Brain Games, Real Time with Bill Maher, Snowfall, and a bunch of others I can't remember. The only real significant role I landed was the one on the dating show, and though the date itself was somewhat of a disaster, the experience shooting it was certainly fun for me.
So do you like cockroaches?
What did you just ask? Damn. It's a lonely sort of play.
However, despite all the fun and exciting noise of the disgusting, hedonistic, Satan-worshipping land of Hollywood in the 21st century, after 9 months of living there, I decided it wasn't worthwhile. Everyone seemed so hollow. All of my interactions felt empty. Any chance at success seemed like it was all luck of the draw, with worse odds than winning the actual lottery. And the traffic was inhumane. Most importantly, I was too busy trying to stay afloat financially, playing dispensable roles in other people's art, to set any time aside to work on my own. Like everyone else, I was mesmerized by the show of it all, while pissing away my debatably precious youth. Also, earthquakes.
8:21 here on the air. We're experiencing very strong shaking.
Wow.
I think we need to get under the desk.
All right, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back after this. Wow.
I had to get out. When I returned to North Carolina, I moved back in with my mom temporarily. Within a few months, I received a phone call that my father, who I didn't have much of a relationship with, had died. They say him and his girlfriend might have been messing around with some pills, but the cause of death was determined to be a blood clot. Because my dad had a great sense of humor and was always a big fan of reggae music, when people ask me what happened, I like to say, "Blood clot, bomba clot, man!" He would have thought that was funny. The last time I saw my dad, he gave me this crucifix necklace. Although I was open to the religious by then, I did not consider myself a Christian. I also didn't like jewelry and knew I wouldn't wear it. I tried to refuse the necklace, but he insisted I take it. So I did. My mother was very kind to me following my dad's death. I honestly think she was a little more shaken up about it than I was.
My daughter's name is Evelyn.
But as another month or so passed by, tensions were rising. My mom was getting sick of me living in her house. So one night, I packed up all my shit and went to move in with my dad's mom, Nana Lou, since she had a room open up in her apartment, because that's where my dad was living. Now I was living in the same room and sleeping in the exact same bed my father died in. And yes, occasionally masturbating in it too. Around this same time, I began shooting my next film, Black Hole. It was a dark romantic psychodrama I was both directing and starring in. I had cast and flown in an actress to play the role of Jackie, my love interest in the movie. The actress's name was Rebecca Berg. As far as talent goes, she was a great actress, and I was lucky to be working with her. But on a personal level, we did not get along off camera.
Oh wait, sorry. Someone's speeding?
Minor detail.
Now action.
It seemed like she had no faith in me as a director, and even grew to hate me, which hurt my feelings. At first, the tension didn't seem to be affecting the performances on screen, but eventually, it did. Whenever there was a kissing scene or a moment of physical touch, she would try to skip over it, talk her way out of it, do it half-assed, act offended and cry over something I said, and even divert to a full-on screaming match with me. This also hurt my feelings. It hurt because I really wanted her to like me, as a friend and creative collaborator at the very least. And most ideally, though completely deluded and unrealistic, I wanted her to pull me aside at the end of our shoot and tell me how cool, creative, and talented I was. How I was the best director she's ever worked with. That she thinks I'm a genius, and how uncontrollably attracted she is to me. Then pull me in and kiss me more passionately than I've ever been kissed before in my life. But that did not happen. We only got to shoot about a third of the movie before March 2020 crept around and the COVID lockdowns took place.
My fellow Americans, tonight I want to speak with you about our nation's unprecedented response to the coronavirus outbreak.
Not in New York, where the governor has declared a state of emergency with now at least 89 coronavirus cases, a 50% jump overnight.
In the past 2 weeks, the number of cases of COVID-19 outside China has increased 13-fold.
Listening live here as just minutes ago, the head of the WHO, the World Health Organization, announced the coronavirus outbreak has now reached pandemic levels worldwide.
After looking over what we had shot, putting it all together, and watching back several times, I decided that the film was not worth finishing. Instead, I switched over to music.
Fuck Corona, I got the Billy Ray virus. Fuck Ebola.
Within the first week of the lockdown, I wrote, recorded, mixed, and released a 7-track album titled Camronavirus. And over the following month, I wrote, recorded, mixed, and released another 14-track album titled The Bad Boy Album. As soon as venues were opening back up, I started performing again, both music and stand-up comedy.
Coronavirus is a liberal hoax perpetuated by dumb women.
In June that year, I found Nana Lou having a brain aneurysm in the living room. She was in a vegetative state for the following few months, and then she died. I moved out of her apartment and into a big house downtown with 4 roommates, one of them being my friend, Zach Burke.
What the heck does ECU stand for? Eating Cum University?
I had spent the last 2 years moving quite a lot. Between living with my mom, my grandma, friends' houses, and multiple Airbnbs in LA, it was nice being able to settle into my own space. Ever since my whole spiritual awakening and meditation practice, I've had a growing voice in my head telling me to kill off all of my vices, to stop eating junk food, stop drinking caffeine, stop smoking weed, and stop jacking off. But despite the voice, I kept eating junk food, drinking lots of coffee, smoking lots of weed, and doing lots of jackings off. I was beginning to feel like I had no self-control. This was beyond cognitive dissonance. This was spiritual dissonance. Finally, I hit a breaking point. I'm not exactly sure what caused it, whether it was the feeling like somewhat of a failure for returning from LA, abandoning Black Hole, being kicked out of my mom's house, the death of my father, followed by the death of my grandmother, the constant moving from one living situation to the next, the unprecedented circumstances of the pandemic, the 2020 election, all the weed I was smoking and excessive caffeine consumption, something in the water, spirits in the 150-year-old house I was now living in, or all of the above. It's difficult to use words to fully encapsulate what this psychotic break felt like, but it was as if I was living in a month-long anxiety attack, punctuated by intense panic attacks multiple times a day, a persistent discomfort in the left side of my chest, fully convinced that I was having major cardiovascular issues, all while the doctor is insisting that the sensation is purely psychological. I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of the food I was eating and the water I was drinking. I was afraid of going outside and afraid of being inside. I was afraid of being around people, and I was afraid of being alone. I was experiencing suicidal thoughts more serious and intense than anything from my 2016 post-relationship depression. No plans to say goodbye, no leaving a note, or anything at all. Just an intense urge to walk to the nearest parking deck and jump off the top, head first. I meditated through all the dark thoughts and violent urges. I just sat still, learned to breathe more slowly, got outside in the sunlight, walked around in nature. No alcohol, no weed, no caffeine, just lots of meat, lots of quality sleep, lots of books about the power of the mind, and, of course, lots of Jordan Peterson.
You need an antidote to suffering, and it has to be deep. And deep moves you tectonically, and it's not a trivial thing. But that's better than happiness. And maybe if you're lucky while you're pursuing that and while you're immersed in it, you get to be happy, and you should fall on your knees and be grateful for that when it happens. It's a gift. It really is a gift. And it comes upon you unexpectedly, your happiness, But you aim to climb uphill to the highest peak you can possibly envision. And that's better than happiness.
In the midst of it all, I began working on my next album. I don't feel well. I need attention. At first, my brain was barely functional. I had to keep the lyrics relatively simple. But over time, as I completed more songs, I was able to expand the complexity.
What if God had an OnlyFans?
Historically, my music has always been in character as Camboy Smith. But with this album, I needed to get in touch with my truth. I was starting to write more as myself, which was very therapeutic and absolutely necessary at the time. By the end of 2020, I finished the album. I was back, and better than ever. I even made a song and video called Sexy Lobster, which was all about my eternal admiration for Jordan Peterson, and led to his daughter, Michaela Peterson, buying me an air fryer, as well as a signed copy of 12 Rules for Life. Just a few months after, I released another album, Camronavirus 2. Unlike the first Camronavirus, this one was more focused on all of the lying, the fear-mongering, and the socio-political corporate clown show surrounding the pandemic.
If you're vaccinated, you're protected. So please get vaccinated now.
Y'all campaign is about fear. It's about inciting fear in people. That's what this pandemic is.
Don't forget to get your booster.
One major theme of the album was the metaphorical parallel between cultural fear of the virus and my own personal fear of love. Because truth be told, I was afraid to love again. I was afraid of being vulnerable and afraid of being hurt. And I was afraid of hurting someone else, like I did to Caitlin. But in getting in touch with my truth through the music, I realized that I had a void inside me. A void that mere physical touch and casual sex couldn't fill. I needed something real, something deep, something dangerous. I needed love.
So Jung had this phrase that he liked that he took from the alchemists, which was instur colinas invenitur. And what it meant was, what you most want to find will be found where you least want to look.
This sets the stage for my next album. My most recent album. Love Songs for Absolutely No One. Which I fear may not be in my best interest to talk about. But I've lost all respect for fear. In the spring of 2021, when COVID vaccines were introduced into the world and the mask mandates were being lifted, I remember seeing people's faces who I had only met within the past year for the first time. One of those faces was a girl that worked at the ice cream shop down the street from my house.
Hi. Could I get a scoop of the pistachio, please?
I had always thought she had pretty eyes.
You know, me and the fellas were talking on the way here, and we were wondering if we were going to get a face reveal today. I guess it's just not in the cards. Oh, wow. You got a good one.
And just like that, I was in love. It was as if I was possessed, but I had no interest in fighting it. It was then that I made the song Ice Cream Lady.
It's Sunday morning, baby.
And like the insane person I am, I sent it to her. My thinking was that if such a move would scare her off, then she's not right for me. However, if such a move were appreciated, then she's absolutely perfect.
So what's your name?
Ivy.
That's a cool name.
Sure enough, a couple hours later, she sent back a video of her dancing to the song. It felt like I had finally met my soulmate. We had already made somewhat vague plans to hang out, but I was getting impatient. So I made her another song.
I don't mean to seem impatient, but it's getting real painful waiting for you and I simultaneous.
That night, we met up for a drink at Bar Czar. We talked for hours. I was so fascinated by her. Her look, her energy, her mind. She was a gorgeous little ball of chaos. I wanted her. And she wanted me.
Do you like the moon?
Yeah, I love the moon. Moon was my first word as a baby.
Fuck you, shut up.
I'm serious. My grandpa used to take me outside to see the moon every night, and if it was a night that I couldn't see the moon, then I would just start crying.
Well, I'm obsessed with the moon.
Yeah?
Yeah, every time there's a full moon, I go to the beach with all of my crystals, and I have a full moon dance celebration. And I set intentions, because that's what you do with a full moon, is you set intentions.
That's amazing.
You're so fucking hot.
You're fucking hot.
Do you want to fuck?
Yeah.
Now's the moment. Girl, we ain't got no time to lose. Time's a wasting.
What's going on?
I'm sorry. I'm just nervous.
It's okay.
If it makes you feel any better, this is not the first time this has happened.
A few days later, she called me to let me know that her ex-boyfriend had come back into her life.
It's like we're definitely not getting back together. I just wanted to tell you, and I still really want to see you and go on a date with you, so yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't really fazed by it. All I cared about was seeing her again. I was on cloud 9. Or cloud 10, if that's a thing. I was even starting to write more songs.
We can do it on a Wednesday.
But at the last minute, she backed out of our date. She said that she wanted to focus on what she had going with her ex, to which my response was, "I love you," and a bunch of other words. To which her response was no response. But she did post a tweet that said, "If someone says they love you after hanging out just once, run." For about a solid 10 minutes, I was devastated. But then, strangely, I felt a rush of elation wash over me. It was a wild, manic-like feeling of excitement and power. An onset knowing that I could transmute all the pain I was feeling into art, And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, I know this shit is crazy, baby girl. I've been thinking how insane it is to say I love you after hanging out just once. But it's true.
I spent the next 2 weeks completing a 10-track album. The first half was very focused on Ivy and my short experience with her, while the second half was more focused on myself, in the sense that it was a sort of satirical reflection on the fact that I could fall in love with someone so quickly and intensely. But I wasn't satisfied with this back half. I wanted the whole thing to be about her. I just didn't feel I had enough real experience to draw from. I wanted to see Ivy again, but the music gave me an impenetrable confidence that no matter what happened, good or bad, I could transmute the experience into more art. So I sent her a text to see if she was down for round 2. She met me late one night to grab a drink. Her energy was very different. The way she held my hand the whole walk downtown. The way I would catch her looking at me with loving eyes. I had only known this look from one other girl in my entire life, and that was Caitlin. Was Ivy my next girlfriend?
But how can you say that when you don't even know me?
I know it sounds crazy, but I'm genuine when I say it. Like, I'm being dead serious, I'm sincere. And
You have to spend time with someone to know if you really love them.
I don't know. I mean, yes, but also, like, this initial feeling of love, it's an intuitive thing. It's like when you feel it, you know it. And you can know that with someone immediately. And I feel that way about you.
Well, just so you know, I'm scared of that word. I mean, whenever people say it, I run.
So you're saying this is the last time I'm going to see you?
No.
Cool.
What if I don't want to?
You want to.
But what if I don't?
No, you definitely want to. Are you gonna ghost me?
No. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not.
I want to show you something.
Okay. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Ivy. Oh my God, Cameron.
Some serial killer shit right here.
Oh my God.
Just cut your face up into a bunch of little pieces and reconstructed it on the canvas. Do you love it?
I don't know. Oh my God.
Well, I also made you a new song. I'm gonna show it to you.
Cameron!
I think you're gonna love this one.
Oh my God.
Get ready.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
After that night, Ivy ghosted me. I spent the following weeks feeling sad, anxious, and betrayed. But I put it all into the music. I remade the back half of the album, and within a month, I had a nearly finished product I was satisfied with. There was nothing I wanted more than to show it to Ivy, to meet with her, play it for her, and listen to it together. But when I texted her that the album was done, she ignored me. I wanted to return the earring that she left at my house and see her one last time before I disappeared into the abyss. She was hosting a pop-up market in her front yard, so I showed up dressed in a fluffy pink pig costume. Hello, Ivy.
Hello, Cameron.
You forgot something.
Sorry about everything that I did.
It's okay. I forgive you for everything. I love you, Ivy. And maybe I'm crazy, but I feel deep down that you love me too. Goodbye forever. Despite having to forego the ideal experience of sharing this piece of art with the person it was made for, I decided that I would share it with the world. After all, it was a pretty damn good album, arguably my best. I believe what makes this album uniquely superior to much of my other work is the extreme degree to which it is rooted in reality. the degree to which I felt aligned, physically, psychologically, and spiritually, through both the positive and negative experiences it was based on, the full spectrum of emotions, never experiencing a moment of creative resistance, but instead, an unstoppable creative force moving through me that caused the work to pour out in such an effortless, perpetual flow. All of this, I believe, was the result of creating from an uncompromised space of being aligned with truth. This was a profound realization.
I would love nothing more than to impress a beautiful woman with a modified e-cigarette. You know, the ones with the big black box on them to make the smoke go big. Yeah, those ones. I want to pay a lot of money for one of those and practice taking big-ass hits for a few weeks so I can really nail it down. Learn a couple smoke tricks, maybe. Work up the courage to go and say, hey, blow a big cloud in her face and say, what's up, baby, you want to hit this shit? And then she just asks me the same thing.
In 2022, I released a book called Camthology. It was a collection of poems and short stories I wrote in college while studying creative writing. I had been holding on to this work for nearly 5 years at this point. I considered releasing it several times over those years, but I never did because I felt that it was too personal and revealing.
Sticking my hard dick in your dripping wet pussy.
I've always been fine with making an audience hate me or embarrassing myself publicly for a video, probably because I'm usually hiding behind some sort of alter ego or exaggerated version of myself.
So the other day, I was masturbating to some high-resolution photos of folks with Down syndrome on the internet.
But a lot of what was in this book was real and raw. I believe it was my experience releasing love songs for absolutely no one that gave me a newfound sense of courage to let go of those self-conscious concerns and to know that the very act of that letting go and releasing the work into the world is a necessary part of the process in letting go and releasing the very emotions that the work was born from. While there was plenty of ridiculous, silly, surrealist shit in there, Camthology, for the most part, was an uncomfortable, yet sometimes entertaining, deep dive into my disturbingly pathetic love life. Or really, lack thereof. I was constantly writing about loving women who had no interest and wanted nothing to do with me. But despite having an awareness of this reality, it never stopped me from ruminating and obsessing over them, idealizing and worshiping a fantastical projection in my mind, to the point it would make me dizzyingly sick. But this obsession was a double-edged sword. While it was this out-of-control vortex that would suck me into a toxic, one-sided, non-reciprocal romantic connection with just about any slightly attractive female who would give me a single second of attention, it was also the very thing that would allow me to latch on to a creative idea or project, enter an unbreakable flow state, and shut out everything irrelevant in the world around me until the project was materialized and completed. It's like a superpower that's great for making art, but it's a mentally ill compulsion that is terrible for human relationships. And yes, I have been to therapy. I always started by laying out what I saw as my two major problems, the problem of pursuing a creative career and having so far failed, and, of course, the romantic problem. The fact that just about every girl I find myself slightly attracted to or totally in love with seems to be repulsed by me, which I think can largely be explained by the first problem. I liked my first therapist. She was Freudian in her approach, meaning she mostly just listened. She would ask good questions to get me talking and untangling my mind. But most of the time, she was a silent, present attention. Also, I secretly totally wanted to fuck her. After only a month or two of filling her ear up with my nonsense, she quit therapy entirely. I don't think it had anything to do with me, but it would be kind of funny if it did. I then got paired with another therapist who I found incredibly annoying the way she would insert her own stupid ideas into the discussion.
What are your partner's views?
Just in my first session, we got into a very contentious argument about love, where she was essentially arguing for some sort of bureaucratic checklist to hold up to real people in the world and make sure they check all your boxes and based on that, decide whether or not you love them.
Sorry, I feel like that's a very clinical way
I told her I found her approach to be very clinical. Then I tried to explain the more intuitive, immediate feeling of love you can have for someone, how this doesn't seem like something we consciously control and is more unconscious, and how I feel that any good relationship should be founded on that deep, unconscious feeling being reciprocated between both people. If you have that, all the little surface level details will inevitably be ironed out, as people who are truly in love will move mountains for one another. But she told me I have a very fairy tale view of love, which I've absorbed from books and movies, and just isn't realistic, to which I held my tongue and just felt bad for her, as if she needed therapy more than I did. Ultimately, I found that all I was doing was spending $150 every week to waste an hour of time arguing with a robot and reinforcing the anxiety I had around the problems rather than facing the actual problems themselves. After all, the answer was obvious to me even before I went to therapy. If I solve the creative career problem and become rich and famous, then surely the romantic problem will cease to exist. I yearn to be successful, to be somebody, to be a celebrity. I want the world to love me and my art, to be eagerly awaiting the next thing, no matter what it is. Though chances are, if I were ever to become well known, it's highly likely that I would attract a lot of negative attention, considering the polarizing nature of my content.
This is my impression of Blue Han Solo.
And how I've watched so many of my beloved heroes become ostracized over the years.
There was something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman.
Then again, perhaps I would revel in the collective hatred.
You understand, this is a kangaroo trial.
Revered or despised, I just want to make art and be paid attention to be praised, as well as criticized, to manifest the most grandiose visions from my imagination, or at the very least, to have simply monetized my creativity enough to live comfortably. But even that seems out of reach. Instead, I work in a pizza restaurant in my hometown. The same pizza restaurant I worked at in high school. A job that I've left several times to go pursue bigger and better things. but always wind up crawling back to. And they always wind up taking me back, because my mom is the manager. I am a textbook loser. The only viable love interest I have in my life right now is this girl, Lainey, who I work with at the pizza restaurant. She's totally obsessed with me and loves me very much, but unfortunately, she has too many tattoos, and tattoos scare me. In all honesty, I wasn't over Ivy. I still felt very much like I loved her. I hated the way things had played out between us, and it hurt knowing that she didn't even believe that love was ever sincere. What if she was right, though? What if I had no idea what real love even is? How could I know? How could anyone know? Since the release of Love Songs for Absolutely No One and Camphology, I hadn't been doing much creatively. I knew I needed to make something. I just didn't know what. I had been attempting to make new music, working on my next album, Batter Boy, but I wasn't making a whole lot of progress. I was also growing increasingly disenchanted with stand-up, only popping in for the occasional open mic when I had something I felt like trying out.
I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really feel too bad about the folks that died in Astroworld.
Grasping for straws, I decided that I should make a music video for Moon Girl. I just needed to find someone to play Ivy. I reached out to a girl named Bethany. She was a model and photographer from Charlotte who would occasionally visit Wilmington for work, and we had some mutual friends. But as we started talking about the music video, I learned that she had an interest in making music as well. So I suggested that we abandon the whole Moon Girl thing and try to make something new.
What do you think about, like, man don't make no sense when you're down?
Oh my god, that's amazing. Yes, yeah. Alright, that's going in there for sure. Yeah.
She's a bad girl. She's a bad girl.
Cam couldn't get the digits and he couldn't catch a vibe, couldn't get her attention. Even if I tried, no, he couldn't pull it off. Wouldn't look him in the eye, cause a man don't make no sense when you a dime. Damn girl, got me saying damn girl, gotta say I'm a fangirl, you could be my cam girl. Boy, you playing. Won't give the man a chance, girl. What you think, you out my league cause I'm 5'3"?
It's literally not even funny.
We didn't make a whole lot of tangible progress on the song, but we did spend several hours talking and getting to know each other. We talked a lot about art, life philosophy, past relationships, hopes, and dreams, and visions for the future. This was all part of the process. We were trying to see each other more clearly so that we could uncover our real-life dynamic and use that in the song we were writing. But also, as I have learned from experience, it is very important to gain a sense of trust and comfortability with the people you are collaborating with, as such is the basis for that shared space of true creative freedom. It's a trust to move forward, to give your time and attention to the art, to throw out any stupid idea without fear of relationship-ending judgment, and most importantly, a trust in being able to tell each other the truth without hesitation. I liked Bethany. I found her very attractive. But I feared sharing this truth or even hinting at it would compromise her comfortability in working with me. Though the more I got to know her, the stronger I felt. I was actively trying to undermine the romantic feelings that were rising from the depths as the evening progressed. But I recognized that both this fear and this attempt to undermine my emotions, though well-intentioned, were in direct violation of my vow to tell the truth. And in order to tell the truth, I needed to let go of the outcome.
If you're willing to take that leap, then tell the truth and see what happens. And nothing better could possibly happen to you. There'll be ups and downs, and there'll be pushback, and there'll be controversy and all of that, but it doesn't matter. The truth is what redeems the world from hell. And that's the truth.
Yeah, definitely feel like I talked a little too much today. Probably true. I'm
Good material.
Yeah, I'm truly embarrassed by how long I went on about that. But otherwise, I would say good day, fun.
Yeah.
It's nice getting to know you. And well, as far as our conversation goes about trying to find like the dynamic between us to use for the song, I've really enjoyed getting to know you today. I feel like we get along really well, and I can already tell I like you. And I just that doesn't really matter. I'm saying that more so that like we can use it for the song. And I imagine, I mean, like, I don't know how you feel, you don't even have to tell me, but like, I'm a guy that likes a girl that doesn't like him back. And however you want to play with that, like, let's use that. So anyway, with that being said, I completely understand if that saying something like this to you, especially so early on, is crazy. And if it, you know, pushes you away or makes you uncomfortable, I totally understand. Like, if you don't show up tomorrow, don't want to keep going, wouldn't hold it against you. But I felt I should share that with you.
Sorry, I just kind of thought that this was like more of just like a professional thing between us, and I'm totally okay with continuing doing everything that we're planning on doing because I do like spending time with you, but as long as you just respect my boundaries with just being like professional relationship. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you want to keep going, I'm certainly happy to. But again, if it's like too much for you, then totally understand. But yeah, either way, I had fun with you tonight. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And no hard feelings if I don't. But I hope I do, because like I said, I've enjoyed our time together. But yeah, that's it. It's getting late. Should probably get to where you're going and do so safely. And maybe I'll see you.
Okay. I'll see you, Cameron.
Bye, Bethany. And there you have it. I told the truth. I hope you're happy, Dr. Peterson. Of course she doesn't like you. Look at yourself. You're pathetic. You don't deserve love. You are nothing. But hey, you told the truth, and it pushed her away. Great. Problem solved.
Now move on. Stop wasting your time trying. No sensible woman wants you. Not like this. You need to become something. You need money and power. It's the only way out. I needed to focus on getting my life together. I was tired of working in the restaurant, barely making enough to get by, doing a job I hated. In the summer of 2022, I decided to invest in some nicer equipment and launch my own media production company, Creativity Theory. I was doing headshots, model shoots, family portraits, weddings and events, just about anything anyone would hire me for. Within just a couple months, I was doing well enough to quit my job at the restaurant. After our awkward exchange, I thought for sure Bethany was done with me. But over the following few months, to my confusion, she stayed in touch, mostly just sending me memes on Instagram. I tried to ignore her. I figured if I left her on scene enough times, she'd stop. The last thing I wanted was for her to become the next focal point of my obsessive impulse. But 20 to 30 unanswered messages later, I finally caved. I started smashing that like button on the memes she was sending, even when they weren't all that funny. And I was sending memes back. Between the constant meme exchange and the seemingly pointless texts, I couldn't help but feel like she was flirting with me. Does she like me? No, I'm reading into this. Around the same time this was all going on, I was watching Nathan Fielder's new HBO show, The Rehearsal.
I've been told my personality can make people uncomfortable.
I've always been a big fan of Nathan's work. I loved Nathan For You.
Do you love me?
But The Rehearsal was next level.
I've rehearsed it dozens of times.
The way he blended reality television with his own compulsion to control and manipulate reality by predicting, planning, and rehearsing for every possible outcome. And the way he would turn the camera on himself to exploit and confront his own personal inadequacies.
Do you want to feel something?
This was the inspiration I needed. One night, soon after finishing the series, I took a couple bong rips and hopped in the shower. And that's when it hit me.
I would say the primary role that women have in relationship to men is to make them self-conscious, and men don't precisely like that. There's nothing that will make a man more self-conscious than being rejected.
You have a certain amount of potential within your grasp. You may find what you have contemptible because you're not in a position of power. This modicum of possibility that's been granted to you is beneath you. And so you do nothing with it. And so you get nothing from it. You take that seriously. You do the small things you can, the humble things that you can to put yourself together in those tiny, embarrassing ways that are real.
I was going to make a documentary about how I am bad with women.
Why do I think Cameron might have a difficult time in romance? He's a handsome guy. Honestly, I'm not quite sure.
My mom adores Cameron. She thinks he's hilarious. My sisters love him.
He's a very funny person. And I really like him as a friend. But lines got blurred.
I was more creeped out by him than
thinking, I didn't know how to feel. And so I was like thinking to myself, should I fear this guy?
It's hard to tell when he's bullshitting. And part of the game is what's the real Cameron? What's the real Cameron? Is it Cam Boy? You know, like there's all these characters that he sets up.
I've seen him do a character on stage, right? And I was like, wow, this is brilliant. You know, like this is really something. And then I was like, are they all characters?
I think sometimes it's really hard to separate Cameron as a person and Cameron from his art, because I've gotten to know him mostly with his art. So it's harder for me to see him in like a more serious light.
He's, you know, dedicated to his art, to his vision, even to his own fucking detriment, I think a lot.
Cameron does not fit into the political correctness of where we are now in the world, which can sometimes be difficult when supporting his various endeavors. But I don't think there's any nefarious intent in anything that he does. I think it's all for the purpose of seeking some like deeper truth. It's not just shock comedy or shock whatever.
Pretty genuine, pretty, you know, narcissistic. He'll play his music for you for however long you're in the car with him.
So I don't know. I've never tried to date him. I'm not sure how that goes down, but I would say when it comes to dealing with relationships, trying to meet people, you know, exploring like your chemistry, I think sincerity is of the essence.
The dates, they were nice. I could tell Cameron was really genuine and wanted to show me a good time and wasn't really after anything besides what he was being clear about. It was nice. We did some fun things. He like took me out to a really nice restaurant and showed me some cool music, showed me his place, gave me some like really interesting like spiritual advice and like philosophical advice.
I think women are more fine-tuned in seeing if something is like disingenuine or not, and you really don't know if it's genuine. So I don't think anyone would want to sleep with someone that they're pretty sure is just lying out their ass to them. So I don't know if he's bad with women. I think he's bad with people.
See, I wouldn't use the word bad per se. I would say that the type of girl that's right for Cameron is not the type of girl that it seems like Cameron is into.
I'm like, define bad, because I've been with Cameron and I've watched girls just flirt with him to the oblivion.
I think that maybe there's a self-destructive sort of streak in his relationships with women too.
At the same time, I think that that's often people who tend towards the comedic and the ironic and the exaggerated and the provocative. It's a way of avoiding the real shit. So I think Cameron needs to get into the real shit.
You know, dare I say, Cameron may not be bad with women. Cameron is authentic. He is authentically himself. And I think that authenticity challenges a lot of women. I also believe that Cameron's major motivations at this point in his life are satisfying and nourishing his soul, and he's not so concerned with making a lot of money. And that also plays a role in women's interest in a man.
Could I ever see myself dating Cameron? No.
While I appreciated many of the kind words my friends were saying about me, I couldn't help but wonder how much they were holding back, due to the fact that I was in the room with them.
That was like the first time we ever hung out one-on-one, and it was like pretty intense.
I also feel like it may have been a bit awkward having to talk about me in the third person, as if I'm not there.
Because I've known him a while, and I've known him since he was literally in fucking high school, I think, was when he started coming to the club, right? I mean, not that you're him, but...
So I tried switching over to a more direct and candid type of conversation.
Do you have any dating advice for me?
Well, I think at one point you described yourself as anti-romantic. And that doesn't really gel with my image of you. I think you are a romantic.
Yeah.
I just think that there's, you know, it's become this kind of self-fulfilling prophecy in a sense, you know, and it becomes the subject of your comedy, your records, you know, making a whole album about a woman who you only got together with a couple of times. Like that's both romantic and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think you are both those things. So I don't have a prescription for you on that regard.
At one point you were like down to go on a date with me, and then you weren't. And I feel like I did something to change that, or like behaved in a way that showed to you, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't do this.
I think that I was trying to like build a friendship more so, and I wasn't thinking about it in like a romantic way. And then you just sent me this god-awful long message, like reading me like a book, but I was just not a vibe.
So overwhelming on my end.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen anything like this before?
Yeah, I have.
It just keeps going.
You didn't even respond.
I didn't respond because it was a lot.
The one thing I do know, men don't get bitches. Bitches hunt us. There's never been anything that I've done that seduces a woman to want to be with me.
They're the selectors, and that's just...
They're the selectors, yeah. So, I mean, they've got it premeditated in their mind that they're going to sleep with me. I've never slept with a woman that I pursued to sleep with, I guess, is what you're saying. Like, my...
So you feel like there's nothing I can do?
No. I can tell you that. Yeah, that's the big secret.
There's nothing I can do. I remember us messaging each other on MySpace and actually having like good conversation. And I remember at one point feeling good about like liking you and feeling like you might like me too.
Like in a romantic way?
Maybe. Low resolution.
Wait, when?
And then it just went away.
Wait, when was that?
I mean, probably around 8th grade, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will say I have zero recollection of that. And also the shock that I feel when you tell me that makes it feel like it's a lie. That feels more like, oh, this girl is messaging me. I'm going to automatically think that she likes me.
Yeah, no, look, and this is where I was getting to. I do not at all deny the possibility that I was reading in delusionally optimistically to just the fact that you were interacting with me.
I think that's exactly what it was.
Potentially, yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
I mean, to me, I feel like this project is kind of me at the optimal pinnacle of frustration with both the lack of romance and the lack of career success. Yeah. And I feel like this project itself is my best idea at transmuting these problems and exploiting them for the sake of entertainment and maybe even solving them with the same swing. Okay. That's kind of what how I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, that you're a big thinker.
Like, what would be your reasons for not dating me?
I don't know, maybe it just came on too strong a little bit at first. And it kind of like psyched me out. And your eye contact. Like, don't look away from me. Like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
It's like comfortable, but you're really good at it.
Yeah, well, is this intensity, is this a problem of mine, or is this who I am?
Right.
I don't know. Like, I don't know, is this something that I need to learn a lesson and maybe pull back and like move at a slower pace? Or is it, because to me, it feels so fundamental to like who I am and how I operate. And to do anything else feels disingenuous and like me not living my truth. Part of me wants to throw in the towel and be like, yeah, it'll happen when it happens, and if it never happens, that's fine. Right. That feels very empowering. But part of me kind of feels like, yeah, but this emotional crushing thing that I'm feeling, it kind of feels like a thing that maybe I shouldn't ignore.
I mean, I hear weird things from all these like books and ideas and everything that like that kind of psychological turmoil does physiologically deteriorate and like shave 10 years off your life, you know?
Yeah, but it's also like, when you're focusing on it like that, it's like like you say, the mind's a powerful thing. And if you tell yourself you're sick all the time, you're going to feel sick. If you tell yourself, no, I feel great, you're going to feel great, you know? So I think
there is also like, because of repeated patterns, like a deep insecurity that I think, and this might be the thing that women are typically picking up on that worsens the more it happens, is that I have this fear of like, this is enjoyable right now, but I know at some point outside of my awareness and control, this is gonna die. They're gonna stop talking to me.
Ceding control is one of the hardest things to do in life, in relationships, in art, because everybody wants to have it their way all the time.
Yeah.
But there is an incredible benefit to not having it that way, and that's one of the main benefits of that is the beauty of chance.
Yeah.
Happenstance.
Yes.
If you don't control things and things just happen, that's where some of the funny shit goes on. Some of the most kind of potent revelations, all that stuff. I feel like it's like when people step away from the mantle of control and you let go of the wheel.
Do you feel that I bombarded you with this idea? Do you feel like this is because I didn't tell you anything about it before?
No. I had much darker expectations.
Well, what kind of expectations did you have?
I'd just not get into it.
All right.
You know, Cameron has a charm as a sort of a stunt comic provocateur, which I generally enjoy, but I don't know that I wanted to be the target of such gestures. That was my only concern.
Yeah, so I mean, I've just been basically filming interviews with different people in my life, like friends and family and just those around me. So, you know, I can try to give the audience a perspective on who I am without them just having to hear it from me. Like some women that I've had various relationships with, whether it's like a one-night stand type of situation or a girl I was into who wasn't into me. Basically just interviews right now, but I have a bunch of ideas of like where I could go. Like I want to do like some man on the street kind of stuff. And
yeah,
that's the goal.
No, I like that. I think that's cool. If you have any way, almost broke my mirror. If you have any way of like wanting me to be a part of it or helping out or whatever, I mean, I'd love to help you with it and be in it, however that may be. Whenever I'm in town, like I'm just down to help. I think it sounds pretty sick.
Yeah. I'm sure there is a way I could involve you. Yeah. I'll let you know when I think of something.
Okay.
Yeah, the only reason I have any actual real drive to quit to any degree is just because it doesn't do shit to me.
All right. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing.
Good Lord!
What do you think of that one?
That is dark, dude. You're still alive, but barely breathing.
Another potential issue with interviewing your friends, seeking harsh truths about yourself, is that they probably don't want to hurt your feelings and risk damaging a relationship built over many years. Perhaps it was necessary that I expand the perspective to people I didn't already know.
My name is Cameron, and I am in Independence Mall at the Breast Cancer Awareness Display. What I'm about to do has nothing to do with breast cancer. I'm about to ask folks here at Independence Mall why I'm so lonely. Hey there, little girl. Excuse me, sir. May I ask you a question? Why am I so lonely?
I don't know, man. Only you know the answer to that.
I'm not for sure.
Do you have any ideas?
Why you're so lonely? I don't know.
You should probably ask your mom.
I asked myself the same thing, so I couldn't answer it for you.
You need to get a Tinder account.
Because you choose to not let anybody in because you've been hurt before and you have trust issues.
You see all that?
Maybe because you're doing this.
I don't know. Maybe you just need to get your drip up.
You don't think this drip is bussin'? You're telling me this ain't swagging on God? What do you think? Do you think I'm good looking?
No.
You don't?
No, you're not my type.
Oh, okay. What is your type?
I like black. I like mixed.
Like outfits?
No, like color. Like.
So what are you doing to fix yourself or to confront yourself to find out what's going on in your life that is making you feel this way?
This is Cameron Smith coming to you live from Azalea Festival in Wilmington, North Carolina. You're fine, you can go through. I've developed serious social anxiety and I'm absolutely terrified to talk to people. Can any of y'all tell me why I'm so lonely?
I think that's a question you have to ask yourself, not me.
Do you put yourself out there at all? I think it's a shirt.
So you think if I go home and change my shirt, I'll stop feeling lonely?
Oh, well, probably for the same reason we're all lonely, you know, all deep philosophical questions, whatnot. We're all born and die alone and all that jazz.
What's your biggest fear?
Talking to women.
If it's a girl, you just like look them up and down and then wink.
So if I see a girl, look them up and down?
No, don't listen to him.
I kind of like his advice. I feel like I'm going to do that.
Probably because you're wearing sneakers with a Hawaiian shirt.
You think that's the whole reason? Yeah. You don't think it has anything to do with my personality or who I am as a person?
Jehovah, our Father in heaven, please be with us on this day and watch us. Help us when we feel low to keep us up and just keep our spirits high. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Is this whole arm a tattoo?
Yeah. You know who this is?
Is that AOC? Why am I so lonely?
I have no idea.
You want me to tell you? Now you're kind of standing there all alone with a microphone, and there's a lot of pretty women walking around here, and you're not talking to them, you're talking to me.
Rate me on a scale of 1 to 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving you a 10.
Do you think I'm attractive?
I do.
Do you see the best in me?
Sure. Yep.
Is she capping?
I think a lot of your generation is so into the whole internet thing that you guys don't know how to interact socially with a lot of people.
Doing a little exposure therapy, and I'm like forcing myself to talk to people and see if they have any insight on like why I feel so lonely and empty on the inside.
And if I want to lean backwards and use like a beach chair, I can kind of slide my butt forward and push back.
New question. Would you trust me with a gun?
Oh, hell no.
Because if you beat yourself up about feeling lonely, you'll just get trapped in that spiral.
Floor and decor is going to fix my loneliness?
Hang out with Robbie, it will.
I don't know, man. Make some friends.
She's laughing. She knows why. Can you tell me why I'm lonely?
On behalf of T-Mobile, that's above my pay grade.
Do you know why I'm so lonely?
I do not.
No. Do you have any advice for me?
I don't know who you are, so I don't know what advice you would be looking or seeking of.
I'm Cameron. What's your name?
I'm Felicia.
Felicia, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I think I'm the loneliest boy on earth.
I doubt that. You have your cameraman right here, so you can't be the loneliest person. It's lonely plus one.
Okay, all right. Well, calling me out, but
I didn't call you out. You call yourself out, Cameron.
Well, are you enjoying the Azalea Festival?
I truly don't get into all of the. I just come to eat.
Come to eat. I feel you. Well, I don't want to get in the way. It was nice meeting you.
No, you're not getting in the way, Cameron. Can I buy you something to eat? That way you can not be so lonely.
Oh my God, that's so sweet of you.
Your ice cream cone.
That's so sweet. I'm okay. I'm fasting today, but I do really appreciate that offer. That's very kind of you.
Okay, well then can I buy you a bottle of water?
I'd love a bottle of water.
Okay, let's find you a bottle.
All right, let's go get a bottle of water. Thank you, Felicia. Where's got the best bottle of water in town?
No idea. But no, you're not lonely. You know, it could be lonely-ish in the world because I just want people to come together, put your differences aside. We're all here on borrowed time.
This isn't a pity water, is it?
Heck no. I don't think nothing's pity about you. Heck no. Hi. Do you have bottles of water for sale?
I'm sorry, I'm completely out.
You're out of water?
I am so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Here. Here. No, here.
I like the cold on my fingers. It was very nice meeting you. I know. Well, you made me feel less lonely.
Hey.
Okay.
Guess who's coming to Charlotte?
Yeah.
When?
This weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I'm shooting a wedding.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. What are you doing this weekend?
Charlotte Fashion Week. It's so freaking busy. There's so much to do.
Oh. Okay.
What day are you coming in?
I'm gonna be there Saturday evening, so I should be free like after 7.
Wow. Are you emo?
What?
Are you emo?
Am I emo?
Yeah.
No, I'm not emo. Why do you ask?
Well, I'm going to emo night. And, well, I don't know for sure I'm going. I'm probably going to go to emo night. And you gotta be emo. So.
Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna go home after the wedding, but that sounds really fun, and I really hate that I'm going to miss that.
Yeah, I felt like it'd be right up your alley.
Yeah, well, you thought wrong, you damn bimbo.
Why do you wear a black shirt every single day then?
Don't ask questions like that to me. That's private. Okay, well, you're starting to annoy me, so I'm going to get off the phone before you have the chance to tell me that you're doing that.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I truly did not want to go to emo night. The idea made me cringe, given that I hate being in loud, crowded environments. But by the time I had finished shooting the wedding and got back to my car, I had quite a bit of energy. It seemed apparent to me that the only reason Bethany ever mentioned emo night was because she wanted me to go. So, without telling her, I decided to stop by the Halloween store to get into the emo spirit. But when I showed up, Bethany was nowhere to be seen. I stayed for about an hour, and still no sign of Bethany. So I took a selfie and left. I sent Bethany the picture. At first, she seemed to think it was funny, as was intended. But the next day, things seemed off. She wasn't talking to me like she normally did. Lo and behold, my little emo night stunt was a bit too far. Initially, I was disappointed. But after giving it some thought, I felt that if something like this was too far for her, then there was absolutely no way she'd be able to tolerate me in the long run. It just wasn't meant to be.
What did you think of that interview that we just did?
I thought it was good. You know, like I said, I think I was scared that you were going to come in with some ridiculous prank nonsense, and there's going to be a bunch of clowns that jumped out of a car and assaulted me or something.
Oh, no.
That didn't happen, so that felt good. I was happy to hear that I'm in the safe zone when it comes to targets of Cameron's pranks, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, do you think I'm going to try to blow my relationship with someone who's got a house as nice as this? One idea of mine, let's say that there's a girl I'm talking to right now in real life, and then I pitch to her something like, we're creatively collaborating on something that's not related to the show, but it's being documented because I'm making a documentary. And then what if, you and I, we go on a date, but you're in on it. Like, we're setting up what the date is.
Mm-hmm.
We're working together, set up the camera angles. We can even blur this line together. Are we interacting genuinely on camera? Off camera, are we even communicating about that? You can act like you like me on camera and say nothing about how you actually feel off camera. And we can leave this ambiguous. Like, it depends on who it is we're working with. But I think that this makes for a very interesting setup where the making of the film itself, the collaboration with another person, is kind of like my own weird version of a date.
Well, maybe that's part of the problem.
that I would even think of something as insane as that?
Yeah, as being a date. I mean, I think that there's so many levels of staging involved in the process, you know, of setting up things and of like masking things. I don't know that there can be any meaningful relationship constructed in that kind of a context. I mean, who knows? And it could be very interesting. It could be aesthetically, conceptually provocative, but I don't know that it's going to really do much for your other goal, which is like Cameron finding love, Cameron trying to figure out what it is about who he is, how he hasn't been able to have a long-term relationship for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, did you ever see the Kaveh Zahedi show, the show about a show?
No.
You should watch it. So it's this dude who's obsessed with some of the same stuff as you. He's trying to embarrass himself, make himself look ridiculous, often around ideas of masculinity and sexual inadequacy and all this stuff, or sexual obsessiveness. And he did, and I think it was the first season of the show about a show, he's doing it with his wife, and his wife ends up leaving him in the show. And that becomes part of it. And someone's playing her, but then she's playing herself, and it's like, it's like if you scrutinize that kind of stuff so intensely, it can either make it more interesting or make it fall apart.
Right. Right.
When you sent me that, like, I was just like, whoa, I kind of just showed up. I mean, I did tell you what I was doing. I mean, like, if I would have been there, I probably would have been, like, surprised and, like, thought it was funny and everything, but since I wasn't there, I was just kind of, like, awkward, I guess. I mean, like, yeah, I don't want you to, like, I don't know, be in your head about it or anything, but, yeah.
Do you find me attractive?
You're not my type.
I'm not your type?
Yeah.
You wouldn't make out with me?
No, but if it makes you feel any better, my type usually involves like a homeless person who has a job like being a bouncer at a strip club in Edinburgh and has a neck tattoo.
So you don't find me attractive?
Not in like a sexual way, no.
You don't think I'm physically attractive?
Are you fucking with me?
I'm not fucking with you.
You're like a tiny dad bod with a mushroom cut. You wanted me to say something mean. You were trying to pull it out of me.
No, I'm now asking genuinely.
I think if I was like 4 shots of tequila in and something terrible happened to me that day, I would totally make out with you.
Okay, did you want to do some shots of tequila?
See, okay, maybe this is your problem. Everything you do seems like some weird long con.
What if I said
creepy.
I wanted to make out with you?
I'd be like, you brought me here, you put all these cameras here, you made me do a bunch of weird shit just to try to get me to make out with you?
Yeah,
that's weird.
This is my casting
That's
couch.
weird.
It is weird. Is it off-putting?
I'm not being casted. I'm in it.
Well, the casting couch, they are casted.
All right, that got a little too meta porn for me.
Oh.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is if it feels like you're tricking someone, women don't like that.
I'm not trying to trick you. It
doesn't matter if you're trying to or not. It feels like it.
Yeah.
Someone told me I needed to get Botox recently, or like start getting Botox, and I was like, I'm pretty sure like you can't move your face, right? And then I was like, I'm pretty sure that's like my whole livelihood. It comes from my facial expressions.
Does my hair look cool?
No, dude.
No?
You look so creepy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Close your eyes.
Close my eyes? Can I leave them open?
No,
all the time?
fuck no, dude. That would kill me. Like the way you're looking at me right now is already killing me. I think I hate you, dude. All right, just close your eyes.
Well, I have to open them to get to it, and then I'll close them when it begins.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, what can I say to make you feel really uncomfortable? Okay, all right, I'm doing it, okay. You didn't say there was going to be so much tug. All right.
That's what making out is.
Do you want to talk about it now? I think I just choked on your tug a little bit.
Yeah?
I think that it was very forceful. It was a forceful tongue. Okay. Yeah.
I actually don't know if we got a good take. Can we do that one more time?
Get the fuck out of me. Are you going to move the cameras around?
Am I going to move them around? Why would I move them around?
Okay.
Take 2. Ease into it.
Okay, ease into it.
All right.
Okay, I can do this. All right. See, that's normal.
There's no tongue.
Yeah, but that's like, we would get there later. You kind of jump the gun on it. All right, we're out of here.
All right.
It's for the sake of a joke. Of course, I'll say a thing that isn't true, and I think that's totally acceptable, especially like. After many years of debating inside my stupid little head, in December of 2022, I finally started a podcast.
Welcome to the Creativity Theory Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Smith. Today, my guest is.
I had a range of guests on the show, mostly friends of mine who lived in the area. The conversations typically gravitated towards thoughts on creativity, religion and spirituality, politics, and me.
Apparently I'm banned from WECT.
Just a whole lot of me.
I have really bad financial issues, and no woman loves me. I'm very alone. I haven't had a relationship in 7 years, and
endless yapping.
I started making my own homemade kefir with the raw milk. I got like these grains, and I drink it daily.
A complete inability to express genuine interest or ask good questions to the guests.
Do you have a personal favorite Camboy album?
Just as bad at making conversation as I was in real life.
I'm so bad at carrying conversations.
Oh, no.
I was not a good host. However, the process of editing and listening back to the podcast allowed me to start having these harsh realizations about myself. The excessive filler words, the ums, the likes, the you knows, the stupid opinions, the conviction, the arrogance, the repetitiveness.
You know, let's say it's
I hated all of it. But on the bright side, I was gaining awareness. And after all, one's ability to fix their problems is completely predicated on their ability to become aware of them. As I was continuing to scrub my friends and social media connections for potential guests to be on the show, trying my best to have a diversity of voices despite most of my friends being Caucasian men, who I'm also assuming are heterosexual, I quickly realized that my best wasn't very good. Particularly, I had a hard time finding women that I was interested in talking to that were also willing to come on the show. Though there was one woman I hadn't interviewed that kept coming to mind.
Did you miss me?
Did you miss me?
Not at all. I reached out of mercy for you. I knew that you probably really needed this.
Need what?
Needed to see me. The love of your life.
I'm coming to Wilmington.
You're coming to Wilmington?
Yeah. In like a couple weeks.
Okay. Well, I'll see if I can squeeze you in.
So I heard you started a podcast.
I did, yeah. Why, you want to be on it?
Maybe.
Okay, we can do that.
Do I get paid?
No.
No.
No. God, you're such a gold digging hussy.
Oh, my dog's being annoying. Hey. Sorry.
Apology rejected.
Continue. Your podcast. Go.
Yes, we can record a podcast when you come. Also, I never got a chance to pitch to you my idea for your involvement with the documentary. Ever since our whole emo night fiasco, I never got to follow up with it.
Do you want to record it? You pitching it?
That's a great idea. We should definitely do that.
Okay. I'm down with that.
We'll do it after the podcast. Because if we do it before the podcast, you might not want to do the podcast.
I'll be driving back home.
Yeah. We'll end with it. It'll be a crescendo to our reuniting.
How special.
Yeah. I'm a very special boy.
And as the ominous music creeps in, I suppose now would be a good time to confess something that may have been deceptive on my end. The girl you've been seeing on screen here isn't the real Bethany. She's an actress I hired to play Bethany in this movie. This is the real Bethany. And this is the real moment in time that I pitched my idea for her involvement in the documentary.
I'm nervous this time. I wasn't nervous for the podcast, but this, you've built up a lot of, I don't know, suspense.
What color do you like?
Red. That's pink.
I'm colorblind, don't make fun of me. So, I suppose the pitch that I wanted to pitch to you was, it's on the table. My communication is forward. I like you. It's so fucking funny to me to like say something like that and you just look like angry. But see, my goal with this is hopefully that I, at the very least, what this film is I can watch this back and then at least fucking see how fucked up I am. That's what I'm at least hoping I get out of this. I hope I can solve this problem. I feel strongly about liking you and having this feeling towards you, and I'm trying not to say the extreme word here. I would say I love you. That was really not a good way of saying that, but I do. I love you. So, now that the real raw stuff has been put on the table, the fun part of this, the pitch to you, is that in the interviews, there are people I have history with. Like I said, friends, family, blah, 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 talking to them. But I need to build a present day and future story. And so the idea to me is, who is the current actual love interest in my life? And it's you right now. So this moment that we're recording is me asking my real life current love interest, do you want to collaborate with me on this documentary? Does that make sense? I've talked so much and I have to hear you talk now.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
My heart is racing right now.
Are you sweating?
I'm not sweating, so that's a positive.
Good.
How do you feel? What do you think?
Haven't we been down this road?
Yeah, I'm just, going back down it further and worse, driving worse on this road.
Why?
Because it's me. It's truly me.
Ever thought about a U-turn?
Yeah. But see, I think the reason I'm like this, like I've said to you about, I really value telling the truth, even when it's really uncomfortable. And this is certainly that, because I had no hope that this was going to go a way that my emotions want it to go. But I think that whatever happens is supposed to happen. And that's how much I believe in the truth, in a divine believing in God kind of way. And I think when you have something to say, not saying it is a lie. Now, I didn't necessarily have to record it and make it part of a documentary.
Take things an extra step.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But again, this is me. This is what I'm like.
Noted.
Mm-hmm.
Are you upset with me?
I'm not upset with you.
She's
I
upset.
think you.
She's pissed.
I think our society pushes.
Don't bring society
of course,
into this.
Traditional
Fucking Joker.
man, woman. Now,
We live in a society.
But I mean, I think that having close relationships is essential to the human experience, and it doesn't have to be romantic.
Man, she really gave you the Miss America answer on that one, huh?
Yeah, I know. A whole lot of nothing right there.
Just
wait, are you doing this because you're actually going to trick me into telling me that you love me?
No.
Okay.
That's not coming.
All right.
About you. It's not about me.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
What?
To try to help me feel better.
Is it weird?
I don't think so.
What is it?
Will you please show me your tits?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Please.
Are you fucking... Why do you think that this will help you?
Just bring me a little tiny bit of joy in this really cold, dark world I'm living in.
Are you fucking kidding?
No. I wish I was. All right.
I hate you. Okay. You see the nip here? It's pretty serious. It's a pretty serious nip right there. I don't give a fuck about being naked, dude. You're trying to make this more awkward than it actually is.
You don't give a fuck?
Well, I actually do have a funny story about it.
That wasn't even 15 seconds.
Dude, come on. You saw him. Slow it down.
Can I see your vagina now?
No. You fucking dick.
Wait, okay, can I ask you a real favor then?
What?
And this is real.
Sure.
And I honestly kind of feel self-conscious because there's another person in here.
What?
Like, this is a favor from... Here, mic yourself up so they can... Would you cuddle with me?
No. For how long? I'm like, no. What are your
I don't know, like 2 minutes.
Are you gonna clip this and make me look like I'm fucking a simp or something?
No. I just like, I don't know. This is a real embarrassing thing I feel like was good to share.
But why do you want it?
I haven't been in a relationship in 7 years and I like really miss that. And I don't have anyone I can ask that to.
I don't smell good.
I don't care about that.
I smell bad.
I want to like hold a human.
I get one more free headshots.
Okay.
Okay, deal.
The thing I'm making is like...
Be vulnerable?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And also like your reactions. Like, part of the reason I picked you is like, one, there's this nice balance where like I feel like I could convince you to do it.
Oh, definitely.
and
I'll be
doing
like,
it.
well, it's for art.
Yeah. But also that you're gonna be kind of mean to me and make fun of me about
lot,
it, and
yeah.
that's gonna work well for the camera, even though it's gonna break my heart a little bit.
I can't believe you're like shaking.
Yeah, I know. So that's
Yeah.
like what it is. It's like my heart's breaking a little bit.
And the fact that you're gonna like watch this over and over and over again to edit it. Maybe you're not a psychopath. Maybe you're just like worn down.
That might be the nicest thing anyone's ever said.
Are you breathing at all, dude?
Yeah, I feel like if I breathe, it's gonna make it really weird for you.
All right. Well, if you die there, I'm not gonna. Dude, please don't do that.
See? You asked for
Okay,
it.
but like breathe like a normal person. Don't like shove your nose into my ear.
I don't know how a normal person breathes. I'm not a normal person.
Dude, just fucking count to 5 in and find out.
Do you want to face me?
Dude, not really. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Are you really asking?
Yes, I'm really fucking asking you.
I want to be in a position as a like creative person to where whatever project I want to do, I can just do it.
Well, I'm really surprised that like the backlash and hate hasn't made you go viral.
I'm really surprised and upset about that myself.
I feel like there should be Twitter wars about the shit you do.
Yeah, I feel like they know that.
Is there something in my teeth? Is that what you're looking at?
No.
Okay.
I feel like they think that the worst punishment is to not give me attention, and they're right.
Wow. That's like some next level paranoia. Nah, dude, there should be like a whole mom Facebook group just dedicated to taking you down. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, sorry, I misread you.
Okay, we're done. That's what you wanted.
It's not like I'm trying to like crucify you or like make you feel bad about yourself. Like, it's not like that. It's, if anything, just like, I don't know. You are super intelligent and, again, self-aware and like knowledgeable in areas that are very beneficial for like self-development and like even just like universal consciousness. Like, just like you're well-faceted in like a lot of areas that would in turn make someone a better person or like a more, you know, like learning from things. Like even the situation with Ivy and stuff, like, I don't know, you opened up to me about that, and it's like, you know, you said certain things that happen between you guys, and like you feel like even making the album like made her uncomfortable, like certain things like that. Like, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think that you're fully capable, and I think that I really do think you're a great person, and I don't think that you should be talking bad about yourself, saying that you're mentally ill or whatever. Like, I don't know if you're saying that because you think that's what I think about you, or if you truly think that, but I don't think that. I just think being aware of certain situations and like just basically reading the room a little bit is like maybe the thing that I would say.
You know, the way I live is I am aggressively me, as polarizing as that is, and I just watch the room separate. You know, I don't read the room and go, what would the room like to hear? I go, what is it I have to say? And then I watch the room and see who stays and who gets up and walks out.
I agree, and I respect that as like an artist, but when it comes to relationships, I just feel like that's a little bit different. Like, whenever...
There we go. There's the perfect thing right there. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I don't separate the two.
My point is, like, I guess I think that I don't know. I'm not gonna
Here's a proposition for you. The world is languishing to the degree that you are not all you could be. In order to contend with your life, you have to be willing to embrace its darkest elements. And so in order to live fully, you have to confront life fully. And that means you have to accept the unjust sacrifice of the innocent in some real sense. If you're unwilling to see the part of you, if you're unwilling to face that, to the degree that you're unwilling to face that, that's the spirit that possesses you.
All right, so I don't really know exactly what I'm doing. I don't know this girl well at all. I've met her in person once, exchanged a few messages. I think she's attractive. I feel like there's potential there. I hope she likes me because I feel like if she doesn't, that's going to hurt my feelings. But also, if it hurts my feelings and we get that on camera, that's going to be good for the movie. So I suppose I'm happy either way.
What is this?
I don't know entirely. I was telling my mom on the way here, I think it's a documentary on how he doesn't do well with women.
What do you think of Cameron?
I think he seems like a nice guy. He seems like he's very creative and very passionate about that. So.
Third question, why are you doing this?
Why? That's a great question. I thought it would be fun. I've never done anything like this, so I thought I would just try it.
What is your type of guy?
My type of guy? I like someone that's, it sounds superficial, but athletic. I like someone that's likes to do things all the time. I'm constantly on the go, so I enjoy that.
Does Cameron seem like any kind of intimidating or scary at all?
Not to me. I mean,
Do you want to go first? Or you want me to?
I don't care. I'm interested to see what your first question is. Go ahead.
What is your ideal date?
Wait, were they supposed to all be like this? Because mine are very random.
They're very okay. Well,
Okay.
fine. Mine will all be like this, and
Okay.
then it'll be random.
My ideal date. I guess somewhere where we can talk, no matter what it is. Just as long as it's not like the movie theaters, because you can't really talk there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, are we just supposed to have just a conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're. I mean, this is just kind of like.
I didn't know if it was super formal, like we needed to
Yeah.
get through these questions.
No, trust
or
me,
what.
we're both sharing a nervousness right now. So
Okay.
yeah, you're not the only one. I am also nervous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, how old are you?
25.
Okay. Wow.
How old are you?
50. Nah. I'm 28.
That was funny. Okay.
Thanks. Make a note of that. Y'all got her saying I'm funny? Yeah, we did 5 camera angles. Okay.
That's funny. This is such a lame question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue?
Mm-hmm. I like black, but I don't really. I feel like black is the absence of color.
Okay. Do you see yourself as blue?
No, I see myself as black.
Black? Okay.
No, no, I don't think I see myself as blue. I think I find that color very relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a soothing color. It's like a cool color.
Mm-hmm.
What do you look for in a man?
Humor. One of the main things, I would say, humor. Motivated, family-oriented, open mind.
Okay. Good qualities.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A dinosaur.
Mm.
All right, what's the move here?
What are we getting?
I don't think that's a great question.
Yeah.
What are we going to pick out?
Yeah.
We're just going to try to find an outfit that you would want to wear in a photo shoot. And if we don't find anything, we'll just go back and you wear that.
Okay. I've never been shopping with 4 guys.
Did you just assume all our genders? What color do you like? What's your favorite color?
I like wearing blue. I like wearing red. I like
Okay.
wearing most colors.
Okay.
I don't like that baby screaming.
You don't like that? I thought you said you like family-oriented people. Are you not?
That's awful. What about this?
Okay. That's a fun sweater.
Wow. I could see a grandma wearing those and rocking them.
Oh, wow. This is very whatever era this is.
That's whatever era.
We get you a pink business suit.
I actually really like this for a dude.
Okay.
I feel like it'd be too small for you though.
Oh, wow. Thanks. Well, this is a women's large.
Right up your it's a women's large?
Yeah. Whatever. I'll see.
I'll see.
I feel like...
I like that.
Yeah, okay. Because I feel like if I wore this and you wore this...
You're happy with the dino costume? That would fit you perfect because you said you wanted to be a dinosaur, remember?
Hello, how are you today?
Hey, how are you?
I'm very good.
Good day.
Thank you, you too. Oh yeah.
Do you want it?
No, it's just fine.
Your mind's going a million miles per hour.
Something bad is about to happen to me. I don't know what, but I feel it coming. Might be so sad, might leave my nose running. I just hope she don't wanna leave me. Don't you give me up, please. Don't give up on me. I belong with you, only you, baby. Only you, my girl, only you, baby. Only you, darling, only you, baby. Only you, my girl, only you, baby. Only you, darling, only you. Something bad is about to happen to me. Why I feel this way, I don't know, maybe. I think of her so much, it drives me crazy. I just don't want her to leave me. Don't you give me up, please. Don't give up on me. I belong with you, only you, baby. Only you, my girl, only you, baby. Only you, darling, only you, baby. Only you, my girl, only you, baby. Only you, darling, only you.
Alright, so I think it'd be funny if we like got up and walked in and acted like we weren't just being filmed already. Like, oh look, a picnic. Like this is already here.
Okay.
So like you can get like kind of voyeuristic shots of us like walking through this trail as if we just showed up here. And then your line will be, oh my god, I'm so surprised.
Okay.
Or if God's a little much, you can go, oh my goodness, gravy.
So, if you had to choose a genre for what you're filming right now?
Like documentary comedy, maybe?
Is it like dark?
Documentary comedy psychodrama. That's probably the best way you can do it. Yeah. All right, you ready?
Do you want me to talk at all?
I'll just call action and then maybe I'll. If you have anything to say, go for it. Anything. Wow, this coffee is so good.
Well, I was gonna keep talking to you about movies to see like what kind of movies you liked and stuff.
Okay, well, that's good. So what was it? Action.
Well, have you seen, what is it called? Fuck, what is that movie called? Everybody's comparing it to Saltburn. Midsummer.
They're gonna say Ratatouille. I love that one.
I'm so surprised.
Oh yeah, that's right. I prepared this picnic for you.
If you could be anywhere right now, where would you be?
Right here with you.
Mm-hmm. Where would you really be? Anywhere?
I honestly, I enjoy exactly what we're doing right now. I mean, like,
you like?
I like this is what I'm doing. I get bored of drinking margaritas on a beach really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I like it for like 10 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm like, I'd really like to be making something right now.
That's fair. It's your passion. It's what makes you happy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
All right, when the camera's cut off, we'll give you my real answer. I'd rather be in Iraq.
Why?
I'd rather be chilling on the Gaza Strip drinking a martini.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So that won't be in the movie, I guess?
Maybe. We'll see. If it works, it works. Okay. When was your last relationship and why did it end?
Like 7 months ago.
Okay.
Because he cheated on me.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay. What is your love language? Or love languages? Do you know the...
Yeah, I know them. I think mine's probably quality time.
Okay.
What's yours?
Time is probably number one. Touch is probably second to that, and then words of affirmation is probably 3. I don't really care too much about gifts or acts of service.
Yeah. I feel like everyone wants like a healthy balance of all of them.
Oh, of course, yeah. It's not that I like gifts and acts of service upset
don't
me or
gift me
anything
that.
or mean nothing to me. It's just like compared to the other 3, those first 3 are much more like meaningful to me in the context of like a romantic relationship, for sure.
What's the meaning of life to you?
Ooh. Getting philosophical on me. Where'd Landon go? Meaning of life. Well, I feel it's almost like a meta meaning. Like you're supposed to, the meaning is to figure out what your meaning is. Whether you feel like that's a thing that you decide for yourself or you feel like that's something that you seek through a higher power. Whether that's something you discover or you create, something between that. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I feel like, I feel very much like my purpose is to create, and I think to on top of that figure out what the best thing for me to create is, like constantly trying to figure out what about what I'm creating isn't the best, like how I'm not doing the best at what I ought to be doing. And I mean, perhaps there might have a realization at one point like creativity isn't the purpose, it is actually something higher. So I think that's the purpose, is to figure out what your highest purpose is and aim for it.
I really like that answer. That's a great answer.
Thanks. What about you? What do you feel like?
I honestly might change my answer to your answer,
Go.
to be honest. I completely agree with that.
It's very flattering.
I think everyone's meaning to life is different, so I ask people that frequently because I just want to see. And I feel like it's also like a slightly deeper question, but it's also kind of funny to ask people.
Yeah. Okay. Can you describe your dream life?
Just to be happy, no matter what it is.
Just to be happy. Do you like wine? Cool, good to know.
Okay.
You'll be happy about the next thing then.
Are we having wine?
We are.
Wine and coffee? Those are like my 2 favorite things.
Wow, look at me. I'm just hitting nails on the head with this one. Quality time.
Quality time. Spending hours together.
Yeah. You want some grapes?
Sure. Do you just want me to feed them to you? Is this a good angle?
Choking on the juice.
You can throw them in each other's mouths. Ready? You missed. Okay, these are bad throws. I'm sorry. That was
Almost,
better.
that was close.
Oh, good job.
Look at that.
4th time's a charm.
Sure is.
Okay. I don't even know where that went. Oh, it went in my pocket.
Fucking 3 points.
3 points.
Or just do whatever looks good and just try to vary it. Like if you're doing one thing, do something kind of like opposite angle of him. If you can get that walking backwards shot, do it.
This camera should be getting like the
walk-
front,
yeah.
and then like
want
he
me to-
can get the around.
to walk backwards? Oh,
it doesn't matter.
Oh, he's got that one.
Yeah, he's got that one. He can get like behind them, different angles and shit.
What do you want to do with that camera? Just leave it?
And JT, it might be good if you started like all the way over there where those cans are.
Oh, I did a shoot yesterday. And I thought they were about to put me in it, and I was like, I don't want to be in it.
We're gonna slow down. Just gonna be walking backwards.
We just keep going faster and faster.
Do you ever see yourself being like a TikTok star? Good, me neither.
You neither?
No. I've thought about it. It's
I'm
tempting,
sure.
but it seems like a temptation from the devil. Well, since you are an ex-vegan, I have a confession I have to make to you, and it might ruin your opinion of me.
Okay.
I'm like basically a carnivore, and I also eat raw meat.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, like sushi.
I mean that, but also like a raw ribeye or like raw ground beef.
Is that okay?
It is.
It is okay.
Yeah, it's like blown out of proportion how dangerous it is to do that.
Okay. I mean, I guess people eat their burgers like that sometimes.
In fact, you digest it better when you eat it like that, and you get more nutrients out of it because you don't
I
like
saw a video the other day with a lot of views, and it was a guy
eating raw
feeding.
chicken.
No, it was this guy feeding his pit bull a raw chicken breast, and everyone was pissed about it in the comments. I was so mad.
Yeah. Be careful with this guy. He seems like kind of a bad character that might mug us or something.
Your picture inside the turtle shell.
Yes. I have high doubts that we can both fit in this, but I mean, I'm willing to try.
Are you calling us fat? Yeah. It looks.
Okay, I can.
This is perfect. I bet your mic sounds awesome right now. Wait, can you put your legs, like, spread them? Like, go like starfish. You gotta do your arms too. Like a turtle. Yeah. Perfect.
This is public humiliation. Would you like to sample it?
Sure. What if I was like...
If you hate it, then I mean, do you?
No, I don't. It is very chuggable.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. What is it called again?
Los Harris wines.
When I asked you earlier, what do you think the meaning of life is? I think... And I also answered a question saying that I just always want to be happy. I always want to be having fun. So I think you can kind of make the best of every situation you're in or get yourself out of situations you don't want to be in. That's why I haven't left today.
Yeah, you've been finding the silver lining in all of the things.
It's been fun.
Yeah, I was nervous about it. I was worried. I was like, oh, that's going to suck if she's super uncomfortable and has a bad time. And yeah, I mean, even if you like were uncomfortable, like stuck it through it, I'd feel bad at the end of the day.
Mm.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Pornography again, isn't it, right?
Yeah, not this time. Fucking. I've never shot porn before in my life. Okay. Do you find me attractive?
I think you're an attractive person, but I don't think you're my type of attractive.
Fair enough. Fair answer.
Okay.
What's your next question? Let's move on.
Favorite thing about your looks?
About my looks?
Mm-hmm.
My eyes and my hair, maybe.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I should change up these lights. It's kind of giving me a little bit of like a sick vibe.
Like you personally, or?
Yeah. Something a little warmer.
I like it.
Okay, so you think I'm an attractive person, but I'm not your kind of attractive. What is your type? What is your kind of attractive?
I don't know. I like, and I'm not saying that you're not, but I like handy, handy, athletic man.
You're saying I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
I think you are, but like you're more like artsy.
You're calling me gay.
No, I'm not. I feel bad answering this question.
You should. My feelings
feel bad.
My feelings are really hurting really bad. Just having such a great time with you. Now I'm just heartbroken.
Mm-hmm.
Just like trying to make it through the rest of this, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm fine.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Super chuggable. Super chuggable.
Do you want to talk about something else, or do you want to dive more into it?
Yeah, sure. Pick up.
He's like, yeah, we do.
Dive more into it, or okay, dive more into it. That's why we're here. Right? Yeah.
It's making me sweat a little bit. And this house is really cold. I'm sure you have a type. What's your type?
I don't. I'm open-minded.
I'm open-minded too, but I don't know.
Well, what if, do you think it's possible that you might be attracted to something outside of your domain of what you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, of how much hope do you think I have? If my goal, I mean, I'm not saying it is, because I might not really have much interest in you, Taylor. Just so you know.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much hope do you think a guy like me would have?
A guy like you or you?
Me.
Yep.
If me specifically.
I don't know, like 5, maybe 6. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's more than 50, 60%, yeah. I mean, look, I know it's an uncomfortable conversation, but I think it's productive. And
I think it is too, especially, I think it really is. I'm curious where you think you go wrong with women.
That's a good question. Well, I actually think what you're attracted to is, I think that's like a natural feminine thing, to want like a handy, manly man. Mm-hmm. And I think that just, being an artsy, creative person is, unless you're hyper successful, is typically like I don't think this is a good idea, because it's a very high risk, high return thing. But most people do not succeed in this domain, and I think there's just like a deeply rooted, and rightfully so, inclination for women to be attracted to what's more likely to increase like good family survival future.
Yeah.
And a creative person's a huge gamble.
I could see that, but that wasn't like my immediate thought. But yeah, I could see that being the reason.
I think there's a tinge of self-sabotage in me. Like, if I wanted an honest shot with you, is this really the best way to do it? Probably not.
I don't know. I feel like the right girl would really enjoy this, though.
Yeah. I feel like that, too. I mean, I feel like this has got to be strange for most women and not appealing. So you're saying you're not into this. You do not like this.
I do enjoy this because, I don't know.
That's where that 60% comes in.
I said 5 or 6, 60%.
Yeah, I'm just going with the higher there. Honestly, Taylor, I think it's probably more of a 7. I think you're lowballing me. We can stop this part and do the last thing.
Okay. What is the dinner for?
What do you mean, what's the dinner for?
I mean, to be fair, I didn't know this was a date.
You didn't know this was a date?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I thought I pitched it to you like...
Maybe you did, and I just skimmed over it.
That's okay. Do you... Pull this back.
Pull this back?
Yeah, hold on. After I just went on that spiel, after hearing all that, do you feel like, oh, fuck, right now?
What do you mean?
I didn't realize that's what this is.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah?
I didn't know it was like a date. I really didn't.
Okay. Also, you don't have to do dinner if you don't want to.
Well, I was thinking, is there a point to dinner if, like...
Yeah, you kind of just broke it all down now.
Yeah.
This is after dinner.
Well...
I can act if you want me to, but... Do you want to go to dinner?
I'd like to, yeah.
Okay. Well,
I think it'd be fun to get that.
Yeah, okay.
Do you?
I'm just kind of tired, to be honest, but yeah, I'm down to.
Okay. What about you guys? What's your opinion?
I don't care. I don't know.
Let's wrap it.
Yeah, personally,
yeah,
whatever. But I feel like, really up to you.
Let's wrap it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Dear God, please guide me on the path forward and beyond. I ask that you keep my heart safe in my journey toward making my own reality dating show. And I pray that through your guidance, I will find the one. Because Christ is my witness, I won't stop until I do. Amen.
oh, oh.